Okay, so this is a pre-lab video for your air pollution lab that we're going to be doing. So the first thing, obviously you have your lab here. It might be on your iPad, or if you want a paper copy, you can have a paper copy. But basically you're going to grab one of these racks that, and they'll be empty. You're going to have 4 beakers here, and well, you're technically going to have 5 beakers here. Now this one I sort of already prepped, so don't really worry about that. But 3 of these beakers you're going to take, each one of you will also have a graduated cylinder that has 10 milliliters of water, and you're going to fill 10 milliliters of tap water in 3 of them. The 4th one is going to be vinegar. So once you have 10 milliliters of water in each of these, you're going to take the bromothymol blue, which we've used this before. The bromothymol blue is in this little ball, this little jug or bottle here, and you're going to add 10 drops to each one. Okay, now technically you will add it to 4 of them because you're going to have 5 test tubes here. You will add it to the 5th one, though I already did that. And this isn't going to be here, this stopper. But you're going to have 4 or 5 of them here. One will be separated over here, and you'll see why, because this is what's going to happen in a reaction. And so that's why this one is separate. So it'll look like this, and then you're going to take a glass stirring rod just to stir up that bromothymol blue. Now it will be a little bit like a light blue. It should be a light blue because our tap water is very high in the 7 range, 7.8, probably 7.9. Let me mix this one up too, even though it's already, this is the exact same as the other 3. I just already had it pre-done. And that'll be it for the glass stirring rod. On your pH scale that you'll also have here, you'll see pH of 8 is blue, a dark blue. So a light blue is probably high in the 7s. So I would say 7.8, 7.9 maybe is this light blue color. And that's about appropriate for the water, tap water, because it's got a lot of minerals in it. It's a little bit basic. The important thing here is just to notice the color change, not really the actual pH. So that you'll have. Once you're ready to go, you're going to collect 4 samples of pollution. And so sample number 1 is your ambient air control. It's just air that's in the room. And so for that, we're going to use this little hand pump here. And you'll just strap the balloon onto the hand pump and then blow it up. You will also have one of these strings. This is the circumference of the balloon that you want. It's not very big. You can see it's not very big, so you don't need it to be very big. So once you blow it up, have your partner wrap this around and then just deflate it till you want it a little bit bigger than 30 centimeters because some of the air might leak out. Eventually, it'll look something like this, or maybe even a little bit smaller. And then you're going to take a twist tie, and you're going to take the twist tie and you're going to tie the twist tie onto the end of the balloon. Make sure you leave as much room on the end as possible. Tie it as far down as you possibly can. And so this will be your ambient air. This is going to be your control because this is what the air is currently. And so what you'll do is take one of these pipettes that look like it's got his head chopped off here. And you're going to put this on the end of the balloon and stick it into your beaker, just like that. And so what you're going to want to do is untie this twist tie as slowly as possible to let the air out as slow as possible. So I'm going to do that now. This obviously works a lot better if you have 2 hands, or 2 sets of hands, I should say. There it goes. Now it's coming out slowly, and that's what we want. And you're going to sit here and let it out slowly, and you can't really see but you can see there that it is in fact bubbling out really slowly. And once you're done with that balloon, you can take it off. Take off the twist tie because we'll reuse those. If the balloon looks good, not damaged at all, or other, we'll reuse the balloons as well. And what you want to do is look at the beakers. Now, with ambient room air, you're probably not going to notice any changes. You can look between the first two beakers, since this is the original and this is the control. You can see that they are about the same, and so that's perfectly normal for this to not change, which is good because you want your ambient air to not have a lot of carbon dioxide in it. So the next one is going to be your someone blowing up a balloon. So you're going to blow up a balloon, so you're blowing carbon dioxide into the balloon. Exact same process. Blow it up until it's a certain size, measure it, zip tie it, everything. You want to use a different color, so this is what it looks like. And you'll do the exact same process. You'll put it on the end, let it go slowly into the next one, and then use the control as your sort of gauge as to how much pollution was in there. You'll see it turn colors if there's a lot of carbon dioxide in there. So, and that's what that is, and that would go in there, and we can do that. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. It's the exact same process. The third example is the reason why the third one needs to be empty is because we're actually going to use vinegar. So for this one, you're going to use the vinegar here, and there is a special pipette that's with it, so we don't want to contaminate it, and we're going to use vinegar. You'll take off the lid and use your graduated cylinder to pipette 10 milliliters of vinegar in here. Okay. Once you're done, close that off, seal it, put it away with the pipette. Now with this 10 milliliters, I can fill up this third one there. So that third one is going to be vinegar, and we're going to create a little experiment you probably did when you were a kid, making a volcano, vinegar and baking soda. So this white powder is baking soda. So it's sodium bicarbonate, and so we're going to take this and put it in here and watch the reaction. For this, we need a stopper and a test tube. So that's where this will come in, and depending on your test tube size, you'll need to make sure that you grab a stopper that is appropriate. Now, some of the stoppers are not big enough to put the tube in, and so you'll need to grab one that has a pipette that's in there just to, in case it's too small. You'll see. And basically, you're going to put one end of the tubing into this one over here on the end, and this one is going to act as a stopper, because once we put the baking soda in, we're going to want a stopper. We're going to block it. So I'm going to take this and one of these scoops, and I'm going to put it in there. Now, here is where you need to be really, really careful. This reaction is very fast and it's very reactive. So we do not want to use a lot of baking soda, and I mean not a lot, like, because we don't want it to overflow. So I'm talking about maybe, a bead size of this. I don't know if you can gauge this for size, but it's a very small amount. You don't need a lot. And you're going to put this in there and then immediately stopper it and watch the carbon dioxide go into this beaker here. Okay. Now, may not notice much of a change. Actually, I used a really small amount of baking soda, so let's see if we can use a little bit more. You just want to prevent it from going up into the tubing, because that'll make your results not good. Okay, once we have done that, you can now remove this test tube, maybe switch the places with this so that you can compare it. And so as we look at these, you'll see changes in the color going forward. And then the last one will be the automobile exhaust. For that, you're going to need to grab a funnel and the balloon, attach the balloon to the funnel, and then put the funnel on your exhaust pipe. Careful not to touch the actual exhaust because it can get hot. But depending on your model of your car, you're really gonna need to put some pressure on there to get the balloon to blow up. Once you get that seal, it blows up the balloon pretty quickly. And so this is one I've already done. And so you would do exactly the same process as the first two. Put it on here, let it deflate in there, and you're gonna see, hopefully, enough change in there that you can see which one has the most carbon dioxide. And that'll be it. Thanks.